Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J, live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Thank you, rocking with us. We appreciate everybody who is hanging in there with us tonight, having an outstanding show as we do every single week. Live from the Den, flagship show, 804-402-2893 is the number to dial. You rock with us, we roll with you. At this time of the show, it is this, or at this time of the week, at this time of the month, it's time for Dating Pool Diva. And we, of course, played her song for the Diva Diaries and whatnot. And she not even doing her little dance. Oh, okay, there you go. There you go. Of a hustler, yeah. Yeah. All right, well, can I turn it off now?
Yeah, you can turn it off. I might switch my song. Get me some Diva Diaries theme music.
Hey, man, all you got to do is say the word.
Yeah, let's work on that.
All you got to do is say the word. Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J, live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. We're losing Big Bro Joe. And he'll be back on the airwaves on Wednesday night for hashtag Brother and Sister Shenanigans live from Bar Louie for the Cognac and Cufflinks event. And so we look forward to being there at Bar Louie with him and his show. So anyway, Diva,
okay,
it's on you, sis. What you got?
All right, so I have some different topics that I want to speak about. I'm gonna see if you guys are interested in this one. Who watches the show Being Mary Jane or have seen it?
I've seen it. I'm way
closetly, closetly, yeah.
I'm way behind. I got like a whole season of episodes to get caught up on, but I mean, there was a time where I watched it pretty regular.
Okay. Well, when I first heard about the show, I was like anti-watching the show, and I hadn't even seen an episode. I just like, it looks like it's whack or whatever. But I got Netflix. You know, I don't do cable, so I got Netflix, and I said, I'm just going to check it out and see, you know, what this show is all about. I have been a fiend binge watching for like the last, 2 or 3 weeks now. I'm in season 2, I think.
Right.
2, almost 3, and I'm an addict. Like, I can't wait to go home now and watch Being Mary Jane. But anyway, this particular topic is about her and, her type, having, personality issues and things like that, and having problems with relationships because of your personality. And how do you break the cycle, in your relationships? Because her personality is kind of like, I don't know, like arrogant / insecure / just a bunch of things going on. Like, I don't know how you guys feel, but Mary Jane is a character.
We always get lumped into that.
What's that?
Of if the womanist in me coming out. Like, if you can't like apply us to a certain stance, or if we're strong but we may not have everything put together, it's like, we're just falling apart and we don't know this and we don't know, and it's like she's strong and opinionated. Code words a lot of times, especially for black women in business, like she a bitch.
Yeah. Well, that's one way to look at it. Yeah, I really do empathize with her character too, because she has a lot of insecurities and issues, alcoholism, and she keeps having problems with everybody. Her friends, her family, her co-workers, everybody she comes in contact with, and especially with men. So my question, to the panel, to the circle here, what do you guys think, a person like Mary Jane, who seems to have problems in every facet of her relationships, how do you break that cycle? How do you fix that?
I think, I guess from a man's perspective, because with her, it seemed like all her problems is she carries the burdens of other people's problems, and I don't think she really has somebody who's there as far as to help her. If she has a person that has an issue, she don't have anybody to run to. I think that's what she needs, somebody who's just as strong as her that could help her in her times of need, when she can have that person to vent if something's going on with her family, because she has a lot of issues with her family. If it ain't the brother who need $3,000 for just for the hell of it,
money, And it seems too like she's like bankrupt in the way of her being a real support to those people.
Yeah.
She may give them money,
Yep.
but when they need her, she pushes people away, you know, with her personality. She
Yeah.
pushes people away. She embarrasses them in front of, you know, groups of people. And, you know, nobody wants to deal with her until they need her,
Right.
type of thing, for money or whatever. So, you know, with that type of personality where you're like pushing people away from you, but you want people in your life, how do you deal with that?
Can I answer? Well, for me, and this is from my perspective of the new Sean, because you know I've been raised around women like that, like, you know. And what first thing I do is when I watch something like a Being Mary Jane, I feel like, okay, I'm not watching it just to be watching for entertainment. I'm trying to learn something. I deal with a lot of strong women in my life. So first off, when I watch her, I look at her, say, okay, what sign do I think she is? I would say Capricorn, which deals with status because she's a hard worker.
Yeah.
I would say Virgo because she's very perfection. It has to make sense to her in her mind. So if it doesn't make sense, she's going to ask that question. And I will also say Leo. You know what I mean? Royalty. Prideful. There you go, sweetheart.
Yes.
So how do you deal with that? And I would look at that from what are they compatibility, like me learning astrology and me the type person, like, you know, me and Coach are Scorpios. So we would probably end up dating a woman. We would end up dating a woman like that. And the reason we would, because we see things from afar. We understand transformation, somewhat change, but we also don't mind letting a woman be the star. You understand what I'm saying? So we would have to, like, okay, she's dealing with a lot of insecurities. We're going to see that. We're going to pay attention to the point where, okay, she doesn't want me to do that, but so I'm going to do something to let her know I'm not going to do that. And then she'll probably say, well, you're not even doing this. We're like, sweetheart, well, you told me not to. It comes with a lot of compassion and patience. And it's hard for her because a lot of the dudes that she deal with, they take advantage of it. You know what I mean? I think she falls for the wrong reasons, which is she mess with a lot of guys that are like her on the inside. You understand what I'm saying? They have good sex with her, or things of that nature. You know what I mean? And she don't understand what love really is. Also, you know what I mean? So you say, how do you deal with that? It's just, it comes with patience, and really in the show, somebody's going to come, because that's how life is. Somebody's going to come. You know what I mean? And then that's when everything's going to change. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Q Boogie, you have something to say?
I have two things.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, because you named 3 signs. I wanted to ask you, which one do you think were her sun, rising, and moon?
It's hard. That part is hard.
Okay.
But for me, her sun, rising, and moon. Okay. I would say this. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't get mad at me, okay? All right.
I'm good. I'm just
because I've never really watched the show, but I know characteristics of it. Let me ask you: does she love work?
Yes, she's obsessed with work.
She's obsessed with work. So let's say this: her movement. I think she's a Capricorn.
Her son is a Capricorn.
Huh?
Her son is a Capricorn.
Her son is a Capricorn. Okay. And I would say her moon would be Virgo.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's her opposite. Okay.
You know, yeah. You know what I'm saying. I would say that. I would say that. How is she with her father?
Her and her father are pretty close, but kind of like distant close. Like she loves him, but she doesn't really see him a lot unless she's, you know, at the house with the family.
Okay.
And like you said, that's usually when they need, you know, some
Need
money
something.
or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? She can even be a Sagittarius sun
Okay.
with maybe a Capricorn moon or something. Cause see, my moon is Gemini.
My moon is Scorpio.
Your moon is Scorpio. You see what I'm saying? So what I was telling, she's good at transformation. She's good at being a Scorpio. She's already been a Scorpio. You feel me? So, you understand what I'm saying?
No, yeah,
You know what I mean?
You school me, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, and you a Virgo now?
I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo sun. My rising is actually no.
His is
Actually,
Aquarius. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Would you even think that he would have a Aquarius? But his Mars is Capricorn, which he moves very structured. His energy is very structured.
I keep,
know what I mean?
I'm mixing it up.
So
Either my son or
Am I messing up the
rising
segment?
Yeah, well, now I'm on the astrology piece. Like,
Let me get a couple of
subject now.
let me get a couple of comments in. Our
Okay.
sister Shayna is checking us out. She was with us last week. Peace to you, sis. See, Tranquil Heart is checking us out. She says she is so used to giving, she doesn't know how to receive. She's talking about Mary Jane. Our brother Hakeem is checking in. He is saying peace to the crew. So just wanted to get those folks in.
I really think that she had. I think that's Capricorn all the way. But she her thing. I think is Capricorn all the way because a Capricorn would. They'll deal with a person that is a dreamer, though, that works hard to get their dream. If they don't make enough money, they believe that, okay, in the long run, he's going to make the money or she's going to make the money. You know what I mean? Because they love to work and they love status. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're willing to help them get their status, they don't have a problem with you making less than what they make.
Shayna said Capricorn, Sun, Cancer, Moon.
There you go. Okay. Okay, I ain't mad at
about
that.
Herself or what she thinks about the
Shayna, are
character?
you talking about yourself or you talking?
No, she's talking about.
I'm asking her.
Mary
So
Jane?
Mary
if she's listening, I'm asking Shayna. They're asking if you're talking about yourself or Mary Jane. Go ahead.
I have a question about the rising and
I'm sorry.
the moon. What does that
I
mean?
just learned about mine too. Actually.
Moon. A lot of people, to me, and maybe Shayna might think different. Moon to me is what you were in your past life. I've already was a Gemini. You know what I mean? But I tell some people, because some people don't believe in that,
Right.
I would say, well, it's what you're good at. I speak well. You know what I mean? Or better than so much naturally. You know what I mean? And my ascending sign, which is some people say rising sign, or some people say earth sign, you know what I mean, is Libra.
Okay.
Okay? His is Aquarius.
What does rising mean? Like, what?
It's kind of like it's another definition, but it's like when the chart is really a snapshot of when you were born, and I think it's when the sun was rising from the east or something like that. But it's basically, to me, it's what the sky looked at that period of time to the T when you were born.
Okay.
So the moon was in Gemini. I don't have my birth time, so like my first house is like 3 different signs.
Well, we're going to have a reading later on.
She
I want to know.
I got my tarot card with me.
Shayna is saying that that's what she knows about Mary Jane. She
Okay.
also says moon is your innermost feelings that nobody can see.
And I've heard
Okay.
that rising
Yeah.
is like your most higher self. That's the way that I've seen. I've heard.
Yeah.
I've read rising as
I'm
well.
going to have
So
to
if
research that.
You're all these different
So
things. At one time.
just to not to jump off the subject, but like a lot of stuff that's dealing with Mr. 45, as the ambassador talks about, he is basically tearing down status in so many ways because it's supposed to be tear down. But go ahead, sweetheart, it's on you.
Okay. Back to being with
Mary
Mary Jane. Marcus, did you have something that you wanted
Well,
to
yeah.
say
I
about
mean,
that?
Mary Jane to me is a classic type A personality publicly, and she's a wreck when nobody's around.
Right.
Interpersonally, her interpersonal relationship, she's the one that so much is required of her, and she has to take care of everybody around her. She has to take care of the show, and she has to take care of her boss, even though her boss is supposed to take care of her, but she has to take care of her boss, the Latina sister. She obviously is the rock and the centerpiece of her family. You know, she's the one her dad calls when her mom's tripping. She's the one that her niece calls when she has issues or she needs money. You know, she has one brother that's stable, but the other one is not. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, she is the one that has to take care of everybody.
Right.
Everybody. And so that when it comes time for her, who takes care of her?
Yeah, she needs to call Sean.
Right. She'll call somebody up for some, well,
Well,
what,
I mean, she want to
that's
get
about it.
if she wants to get
No, for real.
get taken care of,
You know.
but it's just I get Mary Jane, like I get her,
I get her
like I
too.
totally get her.
Look, and what we were talking about this weekend, like that's what we were talking about. Like we was kind of bred to be almost like her. May not have the finances like her, but we have the burden of trying to look out for everybody else. and then we don't get it back. And then when, like me, I saw my buddy, and I know what he did when we was in high school for a lot of people, and then he's not getting it back. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think a lot of us go through that. Let me get a couple comments, and then the Diva take over. Shayna continues. She says, "Your son is who you are at the core. Rising is what you let other people see." She says that she's learned. She knows how to read the charts, the birth charts, so she's good at astrology.
Girl,
That's what she's telling me. So Diva,
yeah, I need to get my reading.
Go
at the
ahead,
end of
Diva.
this, but so back to the central question, like a person like Mary Jane, what does she do if she wants to have better relationships? Does she need counseling? Does she need, just some self-help?
She first needs to figure out what she wants. I mean, because it's okay to want whatever you want. It's okay to not want a commitment. It's okay to want a commitment. She just needs to figure out what she wants.
She has to be comfortable with herself.
And, and until she does that, then she's going to continue to have the internal struggles in the interpersonal relationships, and that doesn't just mean the romantic ones, because not only is she everybody's rock, but she also has conflict with everybody.
Everybody.
She has conflict with everybody, and I think oftentimes it's those folks who are the strongest, most smartest people in the world, but when they're alone by themselves, they cry a lot because they struggle with how dope they are. Like Mary Jane is dope.
Yeah, she really is.
She's real dope.
Right.
She struggles with it because she probably feels taken advantage of.
She does. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
she
You
said
know what I'm
that,
saying?
yeah.
And she has to figure out what she wants. Until she figures out what she wants, she's going to continue to feel that way.
And she's always pulled in different directions. Because like you saying, like it's always a situation where she's at an apex and doing something, and then something's pulling her back if it ain't her family or a certain personal issue or what have you.
She's got to get some meditation going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
some
seriously.
meditation.
Yeah.
Okay, that might help.
And Shayna just nailed it. She said Mary Jane has some inner trauma that happened in her past relationship that she has to let it go in her mind. I mean, I maybe that happened off camera, before we were introduced to the character. But I think there's something. I think there's something to that.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for interjecting on that piece. I have another question. It's what would you do if? Okay, so this is a scenario. Put yourself in this particular scenario. You've been married 20 years. Your sex drive has not been the same as it has been in the past. Your spouse has been complaining for the last 2 years, but you're stressed and you're tired lately. You failed to communicate this to him or her. After months of deception, you find out your spouse has recently cheated. Who is most at fault?
Both.
Okay, why do you say that?
Because there should have been some communication involved. But, in the end, the action, I used to think that it was the person that cheated, but, a lot of people that's on their second, marriage, they always say that if you're tired, and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you need to find it in your heart to find a way to make time for that.
Okay.
So I say both. One person selfish. Some people are just selfish, like, man, I don't care, blah 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 blah. And a lot of times, then the other person that cheat, it may go well, but it might not have been worth it. You know what I mean? So hopefully just communication and then putting your pride to the side. And like I have this conversation all the time. Like, I've been single for a minute, lost a lot, you know what I mean? And I think about the mistakes that I made. And first I was blaming her, but I was looking at myself like, you know what, now that I'm more mature, a lot of it was my fault. So I see a lot of my friends, oh man, she ain't doing this, she ain't doing that. And I'm like, man, when the last time y'all went to the beach together? When the last time y'all had time with just you two? And they said it's been a while. And I was like, man, it's about that time you make that plan to go on a vacation or 4-day weekend or something, and bring it back.
Right.
Sometimes,
Yes.
sometimes there's no coming back though.
Yeah,
And I get that. But I mean, to me, this is a simple one. It's a person who did the act. It's that person's fault. And that person has to come to terms and come to grips with what they've done, you know. And if they are resigned to it, then so be it. But you know, I don't think that you know, I mean, obviously there's something that triggered them and that desire to go and do that, and they may have gone and done that and fallen in love somewhere else,
Right.
you know, and that's something, a whole nother thing. But yeah, I mean, you can't, you know, when you're talking about the blame game, if you're talking about the act, if we're solely talking about the act, then you know it's got to be on the one who did the act.
Yeah, it's got to be the one that's, I think so too. And I think it can be communicated, and it's one of those things, if it's communicated and you don't respond to it, it's still on that fact. Because like I piggyback on what Sean, I remember I had a situation, and I had one of my exes, this was maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and she used to always say, well, you're never romantic. And I used to, in my ego at 28, you know, at that time, like, well, when I met you, when I dated you, I wasn't romantic. So, I mean, why you want me to be romantic now? And then, you know, and it went up in my face. And of course, a few weeks later, she's booed up for the holidays. You know what I'm saying? So,
She found her romance, right?
She found her.
But you know, like at least like you said that you wasn't doing what you're supposed to do, and then she's complaining. Like, you know, what was the other way around? Like, do something. Like, it's up to you. It's just like if your car, they always say your car, if it breaks down, it'll always give you signs that it's about to break down.
Right.
You know, just pay attention, man. Like, don't be so lost into your work, and don't be so, pay attention to what's going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And set that weekend up. Trust me, you're going to need it too.
Right.
Even if y'all don't do anything physical, mentally, you're going to be happy that you took that 4-day weekend. You know,
I should have took her for a walk.
You know, I'm gonna be real. I did the same thing, man. Like, she wanted to go to the beach and wanted to do all this stuff, and now that she's going, I love doing everything that I complained about.
Right. And I know. And you cook for him now. You can't cook for me.
Well, you didn't do the romantic stuff that she wanted, so you know she might would have cooked. But yeah, I like how you play devil's advocate, because you know, if the person had catered to what the other person needed,
Supposed to.
you know, then maybe they could have avoided the situation and wouldn't have had the cheating. Now, not necessarily saying that that's 100% effective, because they still could be a cheater and still could step out on you anyway. But yeah, if that person, we wouldn't know if the person doesn't at least try to improve the situation, and even try to improve the sex situation. Maybe you need to do something for stamina or energy or something to help you in that particular department. So
And if that's happening too, it's something is really going on anyway.
True. Right. It's some underlying stuff there.
True. Yeah. True.
Okay. Let's move on. I got a couple more for you guys out of my dating pool blog book.
That book, the encyclopedia.
Yes, my trusty book. All right, this one is posed to the men only, but you know, the women chime in. Should a man pursue a woman who is emotionally unavailable? Let's say, for instance, they have a trust wall up.
Is that the end of the question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Why not? I mean, if he want to rock with her, and you know he's getting the vibe that she wants to rock with him, she just has some issues to work through. You know, I don't see that as a reason that you wouldn't. You know, you may proceed with some caution and honor how she feels with regards to the wall that she has up, you know, and not try to bulldoze through the wall.
Right.
But, you know, if you feeling her and you get the instinct, not just you just trying to smash or you just trying to be that dude. Like, I'm not even talking about that. Like, I'm talking about the grown up thing. You know what I mean? Like, I rocks with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I rocks with you. And
But
I think
she's
you
giving
rocks.
you a hard time, though.
But you all do
You
that.
know?
But you all do.
Giving you a hard
But you
time.
all. But you all
all
do
y'all
that.
men do blah 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 blah
See,
blah.
I'm not even gonna.
What would you do?
I'm not gonna devolve the conversation into that. Because the reality is, all y'all got y'all shit with y'all.
Right.
Just like all us got our shit with us.
Right.
There's certain traits. See, this is where, and we've got new participants, and don't y'all take this the wrong way, but Diva and I have been doing this for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? On this segment, and we used to do them in public we used to have these forums in public. And one of the things, Diva, you'll remember that I've always been very clear on is that once you start playing the blame game, you're going to spend so much time blaming that you're not going to spend any time building.
Right.
So it's, all men are this. No, all men ain't. But most men exhibit similar personality traits. All women ain't, but most of the women exhibit similar personality traits. Behavioral. Personality, maybe not. That's not the right word. Behavioral is probably a better word for the point that I'm trying to make. So there's certain things that you may have seen before, and certain behaviors that you may be somewhat familiar with that may be consistent through the different women that you've spent your time with in your life, and the same goes for women in dealing with men. It's not a gender specific thing with me. So having said that, if I want to rock with you and I'm sensing that you want to rock with me too, but you just got some walls up, we can work with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We work with it.
Even if she's giving you that hard time.
Like I just said,
blaming you for everything.
Well, I mean, a lot of-
let me tell you, if the vibration there, you'll deal with it.
yeah, I mean,
that go back to what you were talking about before.
Let me tell you something, right? If a dude really, really rocks with you, he gonna put up with all the bullshit.
And that's vice versa.
All of it.
Right. Anything go.
All of it. Hear me clear, ladies. All of it. If he really, really likes you and loves you, he's gonna put up with all your shit. You know what I'm saying? And
I ain't having sex with you. If she's like that, I'm not. I'm telling you, I'm not getting physical.
you might have to chill on that.
That age now that I
Yeah.
know, okay, and my heart and compassion that I have, I'm like, well, she doesn't even need that right now. She may need a friend. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
So you're saying
Yeah.
maybe a little later.
I-
giving it
yeah, if
some
we
time.
get past, so she
Okay.
could, you know.
Yeah.
No, she might need some time to
Yeah.
get a better grip on whatever she's going through before you go there, you know, and when you get to a point where you can value spending time with her without having to have sex with her, that's another indicator, well, at least it should be for ladies. He really cares about you because
Because it's so
you get the
stigmatized.
whole, you know, oh, well, he's got needs and he's got to do this and all of that. Like, don't get it messed up. Like, he going to want to do something eventually just like you are. But it's not the singular reason that you're together. If he wants to spend time with you and he's made it plain that, you know what, that ain't even got to go down.
Yeah.
Let's just hang out. That ain't even got to go down. That's something that you should pay attention to because that's the dude that really likes you. Because if because the reality, if it was really about that and you not doing that, then he'll just go somewhere else. That's what y'all think about us anyway, right?
Right.
Well, he's there.
And
Okay, cool.
and you, it's got to have a shelf life. I'm not gonna sit here 6 months
Right.
to be real with you because I'm not if I'm like I'm saying, if I'm not physical with you for 3 to 5 months or what have you, and I'm showing you consistency and you don't value that, I can't do
gotta
it no
move
more.
on
I
at
gotta
that
move
point.
forward.
Okay. I can
I
understand.
think,
that.
I think that's totally fair because he's making it plain. He's telling you, you know what I'm saying. So you'll get a lot of times, you'll get some sisters sometimes who are getting their feelings about what he just said, and it's understandable, but it's not fair because he's making it plain. He's telling you, and if that's not something that's okay with you, that's okay too. That's okay too. It's just a situation where maybe y'all shouldn't be rocking it with each other.
And that's
Right.
probably beneficial to both of us because if we're sitting here and this is September and we don't think this relationship will go forward in January, we need to cut this
Just cut our
off,
losses.
especially Valentine's Day.
I'm sorry. Valentine's Day, that is awful. That is so awful.
I just make her my friend. You know what I'm saying? We go Tuesday, get the cheap buffalo wings or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can
All
I
right.
can speak on myself and my partner now that we both went through some shit in the last almost 3 years we've been together. And he had a whole lot of growing that he did. I had a whole lot of growing that I did. I had my walls up. He had his walls up. But in our relationship, we both ended up being the mirror to the other.
Okay.
And not so much as in we mirrored each other's actions or thought processes or anything like that, but more or less that I'm going to be the thing that you're avoiding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be that you can't run from me. And it was hard, like even for a little, we broke up for a little bit. And it was really difficult to get through that, but I knew that if I were to go through it with anybody, it would have to be him.
Oh, okay.
And vice versa. And it took us, now we're in this space where it's like, shit, we good. Like, we literally went through enough that would have broke us up that we wouldn't even be on talking terms. But we just knew that we were each other's mirror. And you can't hide from me. You can't run from me. Yeah, somebody else did you dirty. Yeah, some moments I did you dirty. I may not listen to you. I may not talk to you the way you wanted me to talk to you. I may have let you down. Your expectations of me were way too high. Like all those human reactions that we have. And yeah, we're both millennials. We both have, we're on the young scale, so we dealing with shit that other people like. I'm divorced and I'm 30.
What's the sign?
So I'm like, as far as us as women being quote unquote the emotional ones, which is bullshit.
It's bullshit. Yeah,
Bullshit.
It's definitely bullshit. I'm far more emotional than most of the women that I've dealt with in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I am to the point where emotions, a lot of times I think we misappropriate emotions and we think that it's centered around tears and crying, which I have no problem doing that. I mean, I've done that, I have no problem with that, but that's not always emotion.
Right.
So I totally get that.
Yeah.
When ladies say that, it's like, yeah, word. You know what I'm saying?
For me, honestly, when it really boils down to it, especially when we look at our community and how we react and deal with each other as far as female-male relationships, we are so hell-bent on what the ashiness of other people have told us. This is what a relationship is going to look like. If he ain't this, and this, and you're going to go this way. If he ain't that, and that. If she ain't this, she ain't that. And we walk into this potential thing already guarded because, I don't want to be the one that get okie doked.
Right.
Because the homegirl said that it could potentially turn into this. And your homeboy was like, well, and then we really look at it, it's like, why we at each other's throats?
Yeah.
He and I don't conform to gender roles. If one of us see that the trash can is full, it's like, oh shit, the trash can is full. Well, I'm already right here. Maybe we just grab it.
Just take it
So
out.
I got a question. When's his birthday?
He's a Scorpio.
He's a
October.
Scorpio. And that's why y'all mirror image. There it is right there.
You said what?
That's why you said your moon, your moon is Scorpio,
It's Scorpio.
right? Yes, that's what I look for. It's just something like that. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, my rising is Scorpio.
Yeah. So
But yeah, it's been we don't conform to those things, and I think it's a millennial thing.
Yep.
So many of those things that we saw our parents and grandparents go through, it's like, you know what, y'all was sitting up there saying, well, a man is supposed to do this and this is supposed to, and after a while, that shit kind of like crash and burn, so we don't want to do it no more. So yeah, like if we doing this and he see that my glass about to be empty, let me top it off real quick. I just happen to notice, like this stuff like that we picked up on each other, where yes, we are each other's mirrors, but now we are beginning to mirror each other's behavior. He lit a fire under me when I was so complacent and so like I had a victim mentality on me. That if you told me I was a victim, I'd get mad. But deep down, I knew I was, because there's some stuff that I went through that I had put my wall up. Like, you ain't gonna mess with me. He had this mentality that, you ain't gonna tell me what I know about myself. Like, it was that, and we were just constantly butting heads. And then it finally got to the point where it's like, I don't have to say it to you to tell you about who you are. I'm just gonna continue to mirror it to you.
Yep.
Not project it, but just go, this is what's happening.
And it's funny that you say that too, because like you said, the gender roles, because even like if you're like the emotional one as a man, you're soft.
Yeah.
And I hate doing this because I like to point out examples. It was this one spontaneous a few years back, and at the time, it was my ex, but she bought me something that was really like sentimental, something that we talked about in a park like almost a month or two later, and I got emotional about it. And she was joking and telling her friends, "Oh, Chris cried." And I'm just like, why would you say that?
That was our moment.
But you
Right, that was our moment, and you gonna tell your friend.
But
Right.
you're supposed
That's
to cry
Put
though.
me
That's
in the
the crazy
group
thing.
chat.
You're a
That's
water
why.
sign. You're
Right,
supposed to
I'm
cry. Like,
Scorpio.
you're supposed to be emotional.
I'm emotional. I hugged the block.
Right, you got me something that I really cared about.
And
Rather than
it was
cry,
just
he
something that
could-
we were just sitting around talking like, oh, this would be dope if I get this. And then I open it up and I'm like,
What is that? Like, of course, I'm
baby,
crying.
oh, so,
Yeah, and I personally feel like a man crying is a strength because he has the heart to do that in front of people. As a female, sometimes I'm afraid to show that level of emotion. So for a man to do it, that's a strength.
I'm one of those people, man. I've never had any issues with that. Like you know me. I come in here and I tell you that my favorite television show as a child, and I brought into adulthood, is Little House on the Prairie, and there's certain episodes that do make me emotional. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen them 50 times. You know what I'm saying? I have no shame at all. And then there are times where you would think the average person would shed a tear that maybe I don't. It's like you just gotta rock with how you are at that moment. It's. I think when we start getting to a point where we start regulating emotions,
right,
and trying to assign times for when we should be emotional, that's when we start losing. You know what I mean? Like you start losing. You don't have a grasp on real, like, emotions are spontaneous. Like you can't plan that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't. So I say something crazy in here right now and watch me drop a tear with no shame and dare somebody to say something negative about it.
I still cry at the end of Dream
I come
Girls.
give
I
you a
don't care.
hug.
You said what?
I still
Mark.
cry at the end of Dream Girls.
You give me a hug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
cry at the
talking
end of
about-
Dream Girls every time.
Yeah.
Come give you a hug.
I
With a
appreciate
hug on
that,
the
my
back.
sister.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
you know what I mean.
what's the
Like
girl's name? I don't even
you
remember.
you just like rub somebody's back when they having a moment.
Yeah.
That's one of the I think we lose how important human touch is.
Yep.
And I think we often, especially when it's male and female, every touch has to be, weird and
Right.
sexual and all of
Right.
that kind of stuff. And it really doesn't have to be,
Right.
because I think that all humans were born to be touched.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why you shake hands with somebody that you meet. That's how men, show each other love and emotions, or the bro hug. You know what I'm saying?
And I know I'm famous for that. I bro hug
Yeah,
everybody.
I mean, exactly. You know what I mean?
People be
And
like,
it's
"What?"
also, it's customary for, for a male and a female platonic friends to kiss each other on the cheek. You know what I mean? Like, this is culturally what we do, and I think we oftentimes we make stuff weird that ain't got to be weird. Like, that's just, it's not weird to have a male friend, ladies, that you're really good friends with.
Yeah,
That's
my
your
best friend is a
homeboy.
guy.
Yeah, you've brought him here,
Yeah.
and y'all's interaction is very fraternal, and I enjoy the time that I spent
Yeah.
around y'all. You know what I'm saying?
And that's funny. It speaks to your point, because I remember my a neighbor that was across the street from me when I was growing up. We were platonic, but of course everybody was like, "You be going to her house?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. She made me cookies the other day.
Right.
My-
I'm like,
She made you cookies.
Right. That was such like
Did you get
connotation to
did you
it.
get some milk with your cookies?
Right, because I was right around like Bernie Mac, the whole, you know.
I mean,
Right, you know, like-
my first best friend was a female. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm personally more comfortable, around females with certain types of emotions that I have. So
Mine
it's
too.
I have a lot of friends that are female, just like I have a lot of friends that are male. But and this is gonna sound corny and real crazy, but my favorite guy friends get it. You know what I mean? Like, they get it. They get it. They get that you ain't no punk because you cry.
Right.
Right.
They get it. And then there's some that have a hyper masculinity that sometimes will make it weird.
Right.
But let your mama die,
Right.
or let something happen to your child. You know what I'm saying? Or let your somebody that's close to you have some sort of pain or trauma. You know, you gonna hold it in then,
Right.
or you gonna get that ulcer
Right.
that you get when you hold in emotions
Right.
all the time.
Yo, a really dope show to watch is The Therapist on Viceland.
Yeah.
It's really dope, and he sits down with like rappers, singers, like people of note. And he sat down with one, and he had lost maybe like 10 or 11 of his homeboys to gun violence.
Yeah, I don't even
And
know
he
how you
actually
lived
was
through
like,
that.
"Yo, have you mourned any of them?" He was like, "Yeah, you know, like it was."
It's probably sad.
He did.
But with him, he was just like everything was like, "Yeah, man, it's all good though."
It's really
It's
not
all
though.
Good. I'm like, he's like, you
No.
lost all of these
Right.
people. Like, if it wasn't to gun violence, it was like, you know, they natural causes.
Yeah.
Lost his grandmother, everything. And he was like, I mean, you know, 2 tears in the bucket. Like, no.
But you know, that's
No.
that's you know, little boys don't cry.
Yeah.
Right.
Turns into men. You know what I'm saying? And like everybody, not everybody, but I mean, people of a certain age, you know, were raised very similarly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I grew up with give the boy a Tonka truck, give the girl a doll.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If a boy wanted to play with a doll, then it was something wrong with that. But you might get a girl that Tonka truck.
Yep.
So the girls were allowed to have diversity
Yeah.
with regards to their behavior. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the boys weren't. You know, you know, that's the reason why a lot of the boys, real talk, they grew up liking tomboys. Why? Because they like to play.
That was me.
You wanted to play.
Yeah.
Yep.
They like to play, and those girls turn into the girls that like football when you grown, and that's still a level of appeal.
That's
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to be mindful of these things as we raise our children.
Just stupid.
Okay. Do we have time for another
Let's
one?
do one more.
Okay.
We're gonna do this one quick. Whatever one this is, we're gonna do this one
We're gonna
quick.
do it quick. It's one of those questions though that we could talk about for a long time. So maybe we could bring it back the next segment.
Okay.
Too.
Okay.
Do you want to touch on it now?
Well, I'll let you decide because
We can touch on it now
we got
and bring it back.
we got about 5 to 7 minutes to spend on it. So
Okay.
So let's go ahead and why wait? Just everybody make your comments brief and then we'll get out. So
Okay.
go for it.
In the African American community, black
Good grief,
community,
black people.
it is natural beauty cool, intimidating, or just plain scary?
Oh my goodness.
For the men, what do you think about dating a woman with natural hair? And for the women, do you think natural hair affects dating and relationships? So whoever wants to chime
Well,
in,
that's-
answer that.
I'm
particular
gonna
question.
jump in first because that's an easy one. I prefer a woman with natural beauty. I don't like the fake hair and the fake nails and all of that kind of stuff. I like a woman who is naturally groomed well, meaning, if you want to color your own nails or you want to get, nails that look natural, even if they're not, that's what's appealing to me. I don't like, the fake hair. I can't stand that. Like, I can't stand that. And you get a lot of women who will respond, and I guess I shouldn't speak to them, but I can speak to what has been said to me. Well, we do that for y'all. That's what y'all like. That's what's in the videos. But y'all get a lot of times y'all will y'all take those kinds of guys as opposed to the guy that's sitting in front of you and telling you
Right.
what he likes. And you'll look at the music video guys, and that'll be,
Right.
the I don't know, the gospel. But you got a dude that's sitting there, like to me, there's like both of y'all are natural and very
Yeah.
attractive women, and to me that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's cool to me. And so I'm not blind if I see a lady with with long hair that I can identify as not hers, and if she happens to be attractive in other ways, then so be it.
Right.
But my personal preference of a woman is for her to have her own stuff.
Yeah. I'm same way. Yeah. I like the natural look, most definitely. Hey, I put some coconut oil in your hair.
Yeah, man.
I part your scalp
Yeah.
because I ain't definitely ain't trying to clean no bundles from the sink at night.
No. There's a place in the world for those chicks, just not with me.
I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind a little weave because I know that's what you do, but I don't like the over the lips, doing the lips and the fake bud and all that other.
You don't like the squiggly design?
I don't like none of that. I don't like none of that crazy
eyebrows?
mess. You know, I know you might want to get some, some braids, some extensions or something. Something like I don't mind. You know, don't go crazy. Don't. I don't like. You an inch, and then you got 12 feet of hair the next week.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. Like, but I don't really care, man. Like sometimes I do like whatever I'm attracted to, but sometimes like I'm at the place now, man. I'm really trying to see inner beauty and connection. I'm learning more and more about myself. You know what I mean? And what I really like, because I thought I liked this or thought I liked that, but I'm seeing and feeling other things now. So, but I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'd rather have natural though.
If I can convince myself, like the braids, you'll get a lot of ladies that'll get the braids. I don't mind the braids. Like if I can, because I mean that is a natural look to me. Like when you start adding things to yourself that makes you look more Eurocentric, that's when you lose me. That's where you lose me, because the natural texture of our hair is coarse. And I think we need to get back to identifying that coarseness as being attractive. There's too many of us who have gotten caught up in the Eurocentric version of what beauty is. It's not always our fault, because when you're culturally conditioned, that's what happens. You're culturally conditioned to believe that white is right and black is wrong. And the manifestation of that is that we are undervalued, underestimated, and marginalized. That's not me. That's the Black Eagle Joe Madison. But it's appropriate for this discussion. I just think that we need to do us and learn to love our own natural beauty, because they do.
Yeah.
Right. True.
Or they either do, or let me not contradict myself, because they spend a lot of time actually trying to look like y'all.
us. Right. Right.
They
You know what I'm
doing more
saying?
now than ever.
Okay, Cute Boogie, what do you think? Do you think natural hair affects dating and relationships for you or for other people with natural hair, or is it not a big deal?
I can speak on both personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Shit, it happened to me. And then I can also speak from someone who was on that other side of being like, oh my gosh, she got all the weed, she got this, she got that. And then I woke up and realized, like, yo, there's a bigger reason for these. It's not always for a male or a Eurocentric gaze. A lot of the time, like I have friends that are natural under their weave, but because either they have hair that can't be easily manipulated, like I'll say yours and mine can. If they do a lot of things to their hair, it could potentially fall out. So it's like, you know what, let me just braid it up, keep it in a protective style, just throw this wig on, I'll be good. Somebody will still look at that and be like, you still out here trying to do it for the white people, trying to do this. It's like, no, I have a friend that has alopecia. So she can only rely on weave because she doesn't feel her most beautiful and genuine self going out in her quote unquote natural state.
That's a whole different ballgame.
But no, there are other people that look at it that way though, because as soon as somebody sees, ooh, weave, you don't love yourself. You not a real sister. You ain't you trying to be somebody that you not. They don't put those perspectives in there as well. They automatically judge you on, oh, you out here trying to be Nicki and Cardi.
That's part of the issue anyway.
It's like, it's frustrating because my daughter is locked as well. And I have been trying to get her to embrace her hair for the last 8 years. I've had people come up to me and be like, you need to do something to the little girl hair because the little girl ain't supposed to be out here like that. I said, who? Why? So I don't want my kid to grow up with a complex and think there's something wrong with her natural hair, because even in that sense, all of us don't have the coarse kinky hair. My daughter is lighter than me and her hair is thicker than mine. Her hair, she actually has the kinky like 4A, 4B hair. I'm darker than her and mine is 3B.
Right,
so but I got more of a
silkier,
wave thing going on with me. So automatically with that, you mix with something. Like it goes so much deeper than what a lot of men see. Because they're like, oh, well, if you natural, it's funny, if you're natural, they expect you to be out, coconut oiled out. You got all the fruits and berries you put in your hair. You got a silk head wrap that you got from Isis that you wear.
You don't wear
on your
silk
head
hair wrap
all
though?
the time. No, don't.
Right,
No, why not?
Because my hair don't need it.
But you're natural.
See?
Look at
I'm
you.
messing
Well, this
with
is
you.
definitely a topic we could talk about.
Yeah,
we
it's
can.
like
We can.
4 hours.
Well, I tell you what. I do like this topic, and I think that even though we kind of touched on it a little bit, this is absolutely one that we can spend a lot more time on. So if you can make yourself a note, because obviously I'm not even sure who will be here next month on the fourth Monday. So we may have a very different crew who will have different perspectives with regards to it. So this is a dope one, and as usual, you brought it tonight. So thank you.
I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah, we did.
I enjoyed you guys.
You got it. Ain't no how to step with Marcus J live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio. We shall take our final break of the night. We're going to come back, we're going to rant, and we're going to close. I am Marcus J. He is the Couch Coach. He is Sean Love. She is Q Boogie, and she is the Dating Pool Diva. Ain't no how to step with Marcus J. Live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio. Be back in a few.
Is my mic on? Oh, okay. Legacy Internet Radio. It's your girl, the First Lady, comedianess, Lissa P. Ow, ow! Make sure you're tuned in to the #1 internet radio station around, Legacy Internet Radio. Be sure to check out our website at www.legacyinternetradio.com, or you can download the free TuneIn app. Go to the search, type in Legacy Internet Radio, and there you'll have us. Legacy Internet Radio, where independence is the key to building your legacy. Ow, ow!
Tired of wearing that same old raggedy t-shirt to group events, civic, and work situations? Then why don't you check out our folks, Live Action Captions. They offer t-shirt services here in the Richmond and Tri-City area, offering multicolored direct-to-garment printing at an affordable price. Guess what? No charge for changing colors for a design either. Pick and choose whatever you want out of the rainbow. No minimums at all. Discounts at 25 or more. If you'd like to rock one of these hot shirts that we here at Legacy Internet Radio do, then you can get with Live Action Captions at 804-640-7180. Again, that's 804-640-7180. And for all the folks who don't like to use the telly, we got it on the internet at live-action-captions at comcast.net. Again, live-action-captions at comcast.net, and at that same title on Facebook and Instagram. No need to worry about it shrinking. We got you covered. Live Action Captions.